Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamy Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the demigods are glorifying the qualities of Brahma in continuation with that perspective. So they are enumerating further more verses. Here it is saying, Namo Vijnana Viryaya. So they are saying, O Lord Brahma, you are personification of realization. Jnana, Vijnana. Always we come across these terms in Bhagavad Gita. Jnana means knowledge, Vijnana means realization. Or practical understanding of that knowledge. So you are personification of that transcendental realization. You know about the Lord, you realized about the Lord. That's why you are Vijnana Viryaya. Mayaya idam upeyusha. You have accepted this body in association with external energy. Mayaya idam, your sharira, idam shariram. Mayaya, an output of external energy. Grihita guna bedaya. And you have accepted this mode of passion. You are in charge of this mode of passion. Namaste avyakta yonaye. I offer my obeisances unto you. Avyakta yonaye. Who has, your source is unmanifested. Why it is unmanifested? Everybody knows Brahma took birth from Lord Vishnu. But why people say it is unmanifested? Because common man is not able to realize about position of Lord Vishnu. What to speak of common man? Even demigods, even they will be able to not have darshan of Lord Vishnu. In most of the places in Bhagavatam, we hear the demigods, whenever they are in trouble, they reach the ocean of milk, Kshira Sagara, and they pray to Lord Vishnu. At that time, Lord Vishnu reveals within the heart of Brahma what he is supposed to do. So even if Lord Vishnu appears in front of them, they cannot have the capacity to have darshan of the Lord. They only see as a glaring light. So that's why that understanding how Lord Vishnu looks like, what is his personification, the demigods are also not actually clear. That's why it is mentioned here as Avyakta Yonaye. The Lord who is with unmanifested source. So in the purport, Prabhupada explains, the Vedas are the original scientific knowledge for all departments of understanding. And this knowledge of the Vedas was first impregnated into the heart of Brahma by the Lord. Therefore, Brahma is the original source of all scientific knowledge. So even in Bhagavad Gita, we see the systematic evolution, how Vedas have come into picture. In the third chapter, there is cycle of life. There is a mention of cycle of life. It says with Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. Every living entity, we require food to sustain. But where do these food grains come from? Parijanyad Anna Sambhavaha. Food grains come from because of the rains. Now where do rains come from? Yajnad Bhavati Parshanyo. Because of sacrifices, rains come. Now where are the sacrifices? Who has to do which sacrifices? Who has decided what one has to do? Yajna Karma Samudbhavaha. The prescribed duties are designed, sacrifices are born out of prescribed duties. Now where do these prescribed duties come from? Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi. Prescribed duties are coming from Vedas. Now where do Vedas come from? Vedas emanated from the breathing of Lord Vishnu. So in that way, everything is emanating from Lord Vishnu. So everything has to be offered to Lord Vishnu. So here also it is said, since Brahma is the first recipient of the Vedic knowledge, so he understood that knowledge, he realized that knowledge. That's why he is Vijnana Viryaya. And that Vedic knowledge is complete knowledge about the Lord. It has about material perspectives, it has about spiritual perspectives. So knowledge means it is incomplete. So since he is born directly from the transcendental body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who is never seen by any creature of this material universe. Therefore, always remains unmanifested. Brahma is stated here to be the born of unmanifested. Even Brahma, after undergoing severe tapasya, we come across that situation when Brahma took birth. He took birth on the lotus. So he was very curious, where am I? What is the source of this lotus? So he came down that lotus stem and he saw a huge lake. And he went deep into the lake to find out the root of that lotus. After searching for so much time, he could not come to any conclusion. He could not find any source. Then he came back and sat on the top of that lotus again, because there was heavy air disturbance. It was like a cyclonic situation creation. So taking shelter of the Lord, then he got an inspiration. Lord inspired him to engage in tapaha. 2 words he heard, ta, pa. Then he started engaging in tapasya. He started in meditation of the Lord. After mature understanding, after mature realization of the meditation, then he saw that the water, what he dived into, was the navel of the Lord. If the navel itself is so big, then you can understand what is the personality size. So in that way, even Brahma, very rarely he will have darshan of the Lord. That's why it is said, if Brahma is having very rarity in darshan, what to speak of any other personality? And next verse it says, Ye tu ananyaya bhavena, those with unalloyed pure devotional service, bhavayanti atma bhavanam, they meditate upon the Lord, who is atma bhavanam, who generates all living entities. Atmani prota bhuvanam, and not only within himself all these living entities are generated from his body, or all the planets, all the material universes are generated from his body. Param sadasat atmakam, and he is that supreme in whom the cause and effect are automatically manifest. So this is describing about the Lord who is as Karanodakshai Vishnu. So from him, Maha Vishnu, from his bodily pores, universes sprout. And what is the timeline of this universe? It is inhale and exhale of the Lord. So in one breathing, one universe become manifested. In that all varieties become, one universe is equipped with all the necessary materials. It's not that something has to be brought outside of the universe to create this universe. Whatever is required for that universe is automatically within that universe. But it is all dead matter. For the dead matter to become active, the soul has to enter. That soul which enters into this universe is Garbhodakshay Vishnu. He is the soul of this entire universe. So when the soul enters, all the material elements start interacting with each other. Material elements forms various elements and subsequent creation starts. After the basic setup is done, then Brahma becomes created. Now once Brahma becomes created, what he has to do? All the living entities are also generated from the Lord. So when they are infused into this material universe, Brahma has to assign various services to them. He has to assign various locations to them, and he has to give directions on how they should in this material world, how they should survive. So in that way, it is said that all material universes emanated from the body of the Lord, all living entities emanated from the body of the Lord. So finally, one has to meditate upon the Lord with unalloyed pure devotion. So, what is this scientific knowledge? Vijnana Viryaya. So Bhagavatam many places has elaborated about this perspective. In couple of understandings, we'll see that in one verse we all very famously quoted by Prabhupada, he says, Evam prasanna manaso Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. So this is the perspective. In the material world, everybody are loaded with these 3 modes, Sattva, Rajas, Tamaha. Sattva Guna is proximity to the Lord, it is not pure, but the other 2 are diversion away from the Lord. So if one has to reach the Lord, he has to become free from the other 2 modes. So that is Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So by engaging in devotional service, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, one becomes cleansed of these lower modes. Tada rajas tamo bhava kama loba dayashe. The symptoms of this raja and tama is kama loba, desire and hankering. Chetayate ranaviddam stitam shatve prashidati. So one becomes to the platform of sattva guna. Now once you come to the platform of sattva guna, then evam prasanna manasaha, his mind is very peaceful. Then Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha, by engaging in devotion service, see, when you do anything in peace of mind, it results in good output. When you do anxiously, the output will be clean? It will be always with some fault. Because we are anxious, when mind is in anxiety, we will not be able to take proper decision. So when there is no clarity in decision, there will be no clarity in output. So, evam prasanna manaso, Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha, Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam, one becomes equipped with the positive scientific knowledge about the Lord. Then, Mukta Sanghasya Jayate, by engaging in devotional service in that platform with that transcendental knowledge, Mukta Sanghasya Jayate, one becomes free from this material association and he becomes liberated. Now here, two aspects have been enumerated. The mind is enlivened by devotional service. By engaging in bhakti, evam prasanna manasaha, mind becomes very enlivened. It develops such sattvic qualities of highest nature. The second one is, one gains positive scientific knowledge of the Lord. Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam. We get to know all technical details about the Supreme Lord in truth. So, why we have to learn this knowledge? Because this is the qualification necessary for us to know about the Supreme Lord. Just by theoretical understanding is not sufficient. We have to come to the practical point. So, one attains such knowledge only after complete freedom from all material association. So, the perfect knowledge comes once we are free from all material perspective. Because we have to free from material tinges. Means speculation and other impersonal strict perspectives. Now, practically we see many aspects, but if you try to realize, we'll get clarity. Like for example, all of us watch devotees are doing Tulsi Aarti. After doing Aarti, what does he do at the end? Now he shows Aarti to Prabhupada and he will be showing around. Now what is the understanding we have? To whom is he showing this Aarti? Huh? Different people, different answers are coming. Some people are saying devatas, some people are saying devotees. Let the pujari say what he is doing. Is he clear to whom is he showing? See, this is the practical perspective. Let us understand what is in reality. See, in parampara system, if there is a senior acharya and there is a junior acharya, the arti should be offered to first to whom? To senior or junior? Huh? Senior. Correct? So, if devatas headed by Lord Brahma, if they are assembled here, the first arti should be shown to whom? So, but you have already shown to Prabhupada. Huh? No, after Prabhupada you are showing to Prabhupada. No, first, because they are all seniors, no. So, what Shastra say, it is when you show the Aarti, we worship all living entities by offering them respects. It is to all assembled devotees. That's why at the end of the Kirtan we say, all glories to assembled devotees. So, devotees means anybody it could be. What happens now, sometimes we hear one element somewhere, we hear some element somewhere, we mix both and we make cinema out of it. Somewhere there is one song where it says, a Vaishnava Acharya song, whenever the Kirtan happens, demigods come and participate. So we relate that, demigods come and participate, so in every temple, demigods come and participate. Can demigods expand themselves like that? Are they having the capacity like the Supreme Lord? to be simultaneously present at multiple places? So which temple are they attending? Because it's the same time Darshanarti is happening at all the temples across the world. Now are you sure which temple they are attending? So let us be practical. So we are not sure. So that's why simple thing is, it is shown to all the assembled devotees. That is a practical understanding. And after doing Arati also we pay obeisances. So when they pay obeisances, Pujari, he goes 2 steps backside and he pays obeisances. So sometimes we have to be clear, whom are we paying? Because little angle here and there, it will go into some other direction. So, say what happens, this is what our realization is. When we see something, we have to understand, or why I am doing, what for I am doing. Is there any mistake? I have to correct myself. Because bhakti has to be done attentive. Then further, one more place it is said, Shrutam yetan maya purvam jnana vijnana samyutam dharmam bhagavatam shuddham narada deva darshana. This is Prahlad Maharaj while instructing his friends and associates. They asked him, you are one among us. How did you get this knowledge? Where did you gain all this knowledge? When he is preaching to his co-friends, they were all wondered, you are one among us. Our teacher is not teaching us. So where did you gain this knowledge? So he says, Shrutam etan maya purvam. I heard this long back. When did you hear? When I am in the mother's womb itself, I heard. See, people should understand, Prahlad Maharaj was so great devotee. How could he attain such great devotion? So he was hearing Narada's lecture every day. For how long? For 100 years of demigod's period it is. So how many years Hiranyakashipu did tapasya? The 100 years of demigod's period he engaged in tapasya. So that many years Prahlada was there in his mother's womb and Prahlada was hearing to Narada's philosophy, transcendental teachings. See the foundation, how much he had acquired. So that's why when he was even though small boy of 5 years old, he had immense knowledge, immense treasure. What he heard, he realized and he practiced. That's why he is saying, Shrutam yetan maya purvam. I heard about this long back. Jnanam vijnana samyutam. What did you hear? I heard the transcendental knowledge and the realization also. Jnana vijnana sahitam. Not just one part. Or you can understand, I heard about this material knowledge, I heard about the spiritual knowledge also, I heard about completely about everything. What is that? Dharmam bhagavatam shuddham. I heard that knowledge which is Bhagavata Dharma, the pure devotional service. And it is shuddham, very pure. Narada Deva Darshanat. From whom did you hear all these things? I heard it from Narada. Then how Narada was able to explain to you? Deva Darshanat he has, because every moment he is having darshan of the Lord. See, if you want to understand about the Lord, you should understand from a person who has seen the Lord. So Prahlada is saying, I am understanding that from Narada Muni, because every moment he is having darshan of the Lord. Narada Deva Darshanat. That's what he is specifically saying. That's why my knowledge is complete. Jnana Vijnana Samyutam. So now, next, the importance of meditating upon the Lord. Here it is said, Brahma, Ananya Bhavena, Bhavayanti. He started meditating with undeviated attention. So what Shastra, Bhagavatam says about this undeviated attention? If anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day, by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra around his beats, he is surely the greatest meditator and greatest yogi. So if he can meditate 24 hours a day, he becomes the greatest meditator and he will be the greatest yogi. When we meditate upon the taste of the water, that means we are meditating upon Krishna. See, in 8th chapter, Krishna had given, 7th chapter, some of his opulences. You have to understand how Krishna connects subjects. In the previous verse, Krishna explained his position. First time Krishna is saying, I am the Supreme Lord. 7.7, anybody remembers the verse? Matta paratram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. There is nobody superior truth to me. I am the ultimate word in that destination of truth. Sutre manigana iva. I am like, see, we all see the beads here, but we don't see the thread which is binding the beads. Krishna is saying, I am the thread which is binding all these material and spiritual worlds. Now, how you are binding? Why I am not able to perceive you? So Krishna says, Rasoham apsu kaunteya. I am the taste of water. See, when we give 4 categories of water to you, one will be bore water, one will be river water, one will be sea water, and one will be RO water. Can you differentiate all the 4? Scientist says water has no taste. How you are able to differentiate the taste? Water is tasteless, but how you are able to see the various tastes in that water? And the taste of the water is enhanced when you are thirsty. You feel it more. So similarly, Prabhupada says that because everything is coming from the Lord, so by that perspective we can also remember the Lord. Like in one place Prabhupada says, even the drunkards, when they think that this rasa, whatever is that liquid, whatever they are drinking, this has emanated from the energy of the Lord, even in the drinking also they can get connected to the Lord. It is dovetailing the tendency. So that slowly he becomes purified of his consciousness. So like that, next he says, Prabhasmi Shashishurayoho. I am the light of the sun and moon. Pranavaha Sarva Vedeshu. I am that Omkara in all the Vedic mantras. Shabdakke, I am the sound in the ether. Paurusham Rushu, I am the ability in man. So with these various appearances, Krishna is saying, you can pursue me in all these elements. That's why you will only see that elements, you will not see the thread which is binding that elements. I am that one by which I am expanded in all these elements. Like that he is giving a sample to us, how he is spread in this material universe. And next it says, to meditate upon Krishna is the highest yogic principle. Without being bhakta, nobody will be interested to meditate on Krishna. Oh, how he is standing, how he is playing flute, this is bhakta's business. So devotee's main perspective is visualize the Lord. How he is standing, what is the Tribhanga form, why his body is bent at 3 angles. So that is the unique form of Lord Krishna, that is the original form of Lord Krishna. So this meditation perspective is to see the exact way how Lord is giving darshan to us. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had explained the mentality of mind when he is trying to meditate upon the Lord in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, Suna Bandhava Krishnera Madhuri. Oh my dear friends, please listen to Krishna's sweetness. Yara lobe moramana chadi loka veda dharma yogi hoina hoila bikari. So because of a great desire for that sweetness, my mind, chadi loka veda dharma, has given up all Vedic and social religious principles. Yogi hana accepted the profession of a yogi. Hoila bikari, profession of a beggar. Like a yogi, he became a beggar, bikari. Krishna Leela Mandala Shuddha Shanka Kundala Gadiyache Shuka Karikara Sei Kundala Kane Pari Trishna Lavu Tali Dhari Asha Juli Kandera Upara. The ring of Krishna's Rasalila manifested by Shukadeva Goswami, the most auspicious craftsman, is as pure as an earring made from a conch shell. Shanka. Conch shell, ring made of a conch shell. Then, Sai Kundala Kane Pari. The yogi of my mind accepted that ring to his ear, Kane Pari. Trishna Lavu Tali Dari. Then, from the God he carved out of the bowl of my aspirations. Asha Juli Kandera Upara. Then he had taken the bag of my expectations on his shoulder. Chinta Kanta Udi Gaya, Duli Vibhuti Malinakaya, Ha Ha Krishna Palapa Uttara, Udvega Dwadasha Hate, Lobera Julani Mate, Bhiksha Bhave Kshina Kalevara. So, Chinta Kanta Udi Gaya. The yogi of my mind wears a torn quilt of anxiety on the dirty body. Duli Vibhuti Malinakaya, which is covered by dust and ashes. Then Ha Ha Krishna Pralapa Uttara, and he is always saying Ha Krishna, Ha Krishna. Udvega Dwadasa Hate, he wears 12 bangles of distress on his wrist. Lobera Julani Mate, and a turban of greed on his head. Bhiksha Bhave Kshina Kalevara, because he has not eaten anything, he is very thin. Kshina Kalevara, he has become very thin. Vyasa Shukari Yogi Gana, Krishna Atma Niranjana, Vraje Tanra Yata Leela Gana. So the yogi of my mind always studies the poetry and discussions of Lord Krishna's Vrindavana pastimes. Bhagavatadi Shastra Gane, Kariyache Varnane, Se Tarja Pade Anukshana. So all the references of Lord Krishna which are explained in Bhagavatadi Gana, Bhagavatadi scriptures. So Kariyache Varnane, they have elaborately described by Shukadeva and Vyasa. So which is very pure without any material contamination. He hears all that pastimes. Dashendriya Shishyakari, taking 10 Shishyas who are his 10 senses, mind. For him, the 10 senses are his Shishya. Mahabaula Namadari, accepting the name of Mahabaula. Shishyalana Karila Gamana, taking his 10 senses, he was on the go, going everywhere for a pilgrimage. Mora Dveha Swasadana, Vishaya Bhoga Mahadana, Sabachadi Gela Vrindavana. So thus my mind has gone to Vrindavana, leaving aside the home of my body and the great treasure of material enjoyment. Vrindavana Prajagana, Yata Stavara Jangama, Vrikshalata Grahastha Ashrama. So all the Prajagana in Vrindavana, Yata Stavara Jangama, all that moving and non-moving, Vrikshalata Grahastha Ashrame. So he is going to all the houses of Vrikshalata, trees and creepers and everything. To all the Grahasthas, they are all inhabitant, family members. Taragare Bhikshatana, Falamula Patrasana, Eivritti Kare Shishyasane. So Taragrahe Bhikshatana, he is going to the houses of all the creepers and trees. So for what? Bhikshatana, for begging. From trees and creepers, what do you get? Fruits and leaves and roots. Falamula Patrasana, leaves, fruits and roots. Eivritti Kare Shishyasane, and this is what he is doing in the association of all his disciples. Krishna Guna Rupa Rasa, Gandha Shabda Parasa, Shai Shuddha Aswade Gopi Gada. The gopis of Vrindavana, they always taste the madhuri or nectar of Krishna's attributes. Krishna Guna, Rupa, his beauty, Rasa, his mellow sweetness, Gandha, his fragrance, Shabda, the sound of his flute, Parasa, and the touch of his body. Shai Shuddha Aswade Gopi Gana. They, in pure material, in pure consciousness, they experience the tastiness of Lord Krishna's various elements. Tasabara Grasa Shesha, Ani Panchendriya Shishye, Se Bhikshaya Rakhena Jivana. So my mind's 5 disciples, the 5 senses of perception, gather the remnants of nectar from the gopis and bring them to the yogi of my mind. The senses maintain their lives by eating those remnants. Sunya Kunja Mandape Kone, Yoga Abhyasa Krishna Dhyane, Tahan Rahe Lala Shishyagana, Krishna Atma Niranjana, Saksha Dekite Mana, Dhyane Ratri Kare Jagaran. So in a solitary garden, Shunya Kunjapa Mandapa Kone, in somewhere in that some corner, Yoga Abhyasa Krishna Dhyane. I practice my yoga of what? Krishna Dhyane, meditation upon Lord Krishna. Tahan Rahe, I stay there. Lana Shishyagana, with all my disciples there. Krishna Atma Niranjana, Krishna who is Atma Niranjana means one who is seen within the heart. Saksha Dekite Mana, my mind is able to visualize him. Dhyane Ratri Kare Jagarane. The whole night he is meditating upon the Lord by keeping awake. Mana Krishna Viyogi, Dukke Mana Haila Yogi, Se Viyoge Dasha Dasha Hoya, Se Dashaya Vyakulahana, Mane Gela Palana, Shunya Mora Sharira Alaya. So, Mana Krishna Viyogi, when my mind lost the association of Lord Krishna in the meditation, Dukkha Mana Haila Yogi, my mind, which is yet yogi, became very sad. Se Viyoge Dasha Dasha Hoya, in that distress, the mind is experiencing 10 kinds of ecstasy, that is out of distress. Se Dashaya Vyakulahana, he became very anxious. Managela Palana, the mind started running everywhere. Palana, he started running away. Shunya Mora Sharira Alaya. And in that way, by leaving my body, his place of residence became empty. Because my mind is running everywhere to find out where is Krishna, where is Krishna, where is Krishna. Krishnera Viyoge Gopira Dasha Dasha Haya, Say Dasha Dasha Haya Prabhura Udaya. When the gopis could not have darshan of Lord Krishna, the situation what gopis were experiencing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was experiencing the same situation like gopis. So similarly, in Chaitanya Bhagavata, this explains about how Lord Brahma received this transcendental knowledge from the Lord. It says, Avijñāta tattva dui bai arabhakta, tatapi kripaya tattva karena savyakta. So, Avijñāta tattva, the truths about the true Lords, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and their devotees is incomprehensible. Bai bhakta. So you cannot understand about the devotee, you cannot understand about the Supreme Lord. Tatapi kripaya tattva karena suvyakta. They can be realized by the mercy of their lordships. Brahmagira spurtyahaya krishnera kripaya sharva shastre vede bhagavata ye ghaya. Therefore, personalities like Lord Brahma is enhanced by the mercy of Lord Krishna. This is confirmed in all the Vedas and Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, this is one prayer where Shukadeva Goswami, when he was asked to speak, he starts with the prayer. He says, Prachoditayena pura saraswati vitanvatajasya satim smruti mrudi swalakshana pradur bhut kilashyataha same rishinam rishabha prasidata. He says, my Lord, who in the beginning of creation amplified this potent knowledge of Brahma from within the heart and inspired him with full knowledge of creation and of his own self, who appeared to be generated from the mouth of Brahma, be pleased with me. So you are the one who are giving the transcendental knowledge, because Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, I am in control of 3 things. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes knowledge, forgetfulness and remembrance. So only you can revive me with all the transcendental knowledge, because you are there within my heart. So he is praying to the Lord, unless you reveal to me that knowledge, I will not be able to speak. So please be gracious upon me, so that I will be able to talk what you inspire me. So, Purve Brahma Janmilena Nabi Padma Hoite Tatapi Ha Shakti Nahi Kichu Dekite. Formerly, when Brahma took birth, he could not see anything. Kichu na dekite, he could not see anything. Tabe Yabe Sarva Bhave Loila Sharana. With complete meditation, he took shelter of Lord Krishna. Tabe Prabhu Krupaya Dilena Darshana. Then Lord gave him Darshana. Tabe Krishna Krupaya Spurila Saraswati. Tabe Se Janila Sarva Avatara Sthiti. Then the transcendental knowledge awakened within Brahma, then he is able to understand all the intricacies of all the avatars. And where Brahma says, in Valmiki Ramayana, in Mahabharata, he says, the current Brahma, do you know what is the name of our current Brahma? We all say Brahma. Brahma is a post. The personality is different person. His name is Shatananda. And this is his 7th birth as Brahma. And what were his 7 sources? 7th one is out of lotus. The other previous sources, he says, the first time I took birth from the mind of the Lord, next from the eyes of the Lord, from the speech of the Lord, from the ears of the Lord, from the nose of the Lord, and from the egg which got generated from the Lord. So these are my 7 previous births, and this is my last birth, he says. Because in this birth I have completely realized you, I will go back home, back to Godhead. So in that way, see, this transcendental knowledge Brahma could understand, he could perceive. That's why all the demigods are praying to him. You are representation of that highest personification. In this material world, one who can understand The maximum about the transcendental Lord is you. So in that way, demigods are praying to him. So we'll further see all the technical qualities, more elaboration in the further verses. I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की, उदाय गौर प्रेमानंद।